This is Josh Hart, JTH Boxing. Today I'm here at the Steel City Gym in Sheffield, and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Sonny Edwards. Sonny, first of all, how are you doing today, brother?
Yeah, doing good. Just caught me on the way out from a session now. Yeah, doing really good, thank you.
Let's get straight into things. Let's talk about what's coming up. We've done a couple of interviews now, but we've not fully sat down and spoke about yourself yet. We could tend to gloss over the boxing more, but I want to talk about yourself. Obviously, you've got the career biggest fight of your career coming up next. A fight you've been calling out for a very long time. Like I said, I've been saying this to other people, you seem to be the only man in the division who wants to test himself and get these big challenges, and you've got one now, probably the biggest challenge of them all. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, December 16th, Arizona. It doesn't really get much bigger than this unless you go undisputed, which I'm sure you probably will. But how are we feeling about, 7 weeks out now, is it?
Yeah, just under, I think. 7, 6, I don't know. Just waiting for it to roll out. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like, it's been a disappointing build-up for me. Disappointing probably for the promoter and the broadcaster as well. I feel like, there's only so much you can do on your own accord. I'm not even, from where we're fighting. So, I don't know how the show is going to sell. I don't know how many people are even going to care about it, to be honest. I feel like we had the opportunity to really capture the imagination with this fight, and no one's really talking about it. No one really cares about it, and I don't really care because, the opportunity to be a two-weight world champion and continue further on my legacy is everything to me anyway. I'm genuinely chasing greatness, so I'm looking forward to it. But I don't know, I just feel like right now it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Seeing clips and little interviews of my opponent, it's like, it's like I don't even want to be here. It's like you don't want to be involved. Someone asked him, do you have a message for me? And he went, no message, and looked away from the camera. Like, there's only so much you can do with that, you know what I mean?
I feel like this fight's been building a long time as well before with the announcement, but the announcement that this fight was signed came, June, July, when this fight first got announced that it was signed? Obviously, especially with the fact that it's been announced for December 16th, it's had a very long time to build up. Obviously, you've done everything to promote this fight. You had the press tour, you did your tour around Disneyland talking about it, you then did the UK side of the press tour, you had the public workout on the Ty Thompson fight week, but we've just not seen a lot from Jesse, haven't we?
No, next to nothing apart from things that we've half forced him on. And do you know what's crazy? Yeah, it was all half getting set up in the background for, I think, fight week. Yeah. I don't even want to, I don't even want to give a leak out, yeah. But let's just say he turned down, an opportunity with the Undisputed Boxing game to do like a big and get, I don't know. He just no interest in anything. I feel like once I beat Bam, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if he retired like his brother. I swear to God, it's like he hates boxing or something. Like genuinely hates it. It's like he can't stomach it. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. His energy for me is all off. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just hope he gets in shape, makes weight, and gets in the ring at this point. Genuinely.
See, the way you're talking now, and this isn't obviously me trying to curse the fight or anything, but the way you're talking about Bam, you almost feel obviously it's becoming quite evident that he might not care much about the media side of it. We don't know what he's doing in the gym. But would you be surprised, let's say, and obviously God forbid this doesn't happen, but let's say you were to wake up one morning and you had a text from Eddie saying, Bam's pulled out, this fight's not happening, would you be shocked if you saw that text come through?
I don't know, probably, but at the same time, probably not. I feel like they was reluctant to take the fight. They sort of got backed into a corner through negotiations. They weren't really given any opportunity to go anywhere else. And yeah, like I said, his energy is just a bit off. But like Bam's a good kid and he's a very good fighter. It's just, I don't know, I'd like to be seeing some more confidence from him. It just I don't know. I half feel like a bit tight, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if it's the big event or I don't know if it's because more people are talking about it or having an opinion about it before, but I don't know how well he's taken to any of it, to be honest. I think he much prefers when his opponent don't speak no English.
So I think one of the not big talking points, but something that's come out very recently, we've just been having this discussion off camera, is the Ring Magazine belt not being on the line. It doesn't seem to make much sense as to why it's not on the line, but it's just a bit of a shit situation, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, and do you know what? Like, I never even thought it was gonna be on the line, yeah. And then the Ring magazine themselves put out that they were, they made the decision to independently meet and speak about it and make a decision. And I got confirmation today that I think 4 of the however many that the panel members voted for it, and like 7 or whatever, 8, whatever voted against it. Some people that I've had run-ins with on Twitter voted against it, which I think is quite telling and funny enough. But generally, I think if you generally look at this case, for me, Marotti was the long-standing number 1 when I beat him. They put me number 2 and put Martinez number 1. Since then, he's fucked about with boxing, WBC titles, boxing, and the integrity of the sport. And it's got downgraded to number 2, but managed to stay there. I had to work back up to get to number 1, even though I beat the number 1 before, and they made Martinez number 1. Since then, they've had it me 1, Martinez 2, Dalakayan 3. Even with now the 2-weight world champion, Bam Rodriguez, who's probably got better wins than Dalakayan and Martinez combined on their record, they're making sure he's 4th. Not 3rd, where they could still make it for the ring. They're making sure he's still 4th. I just think it's very clear to see that at some point in some conversations, me being able to fight for the Ring magazine is getting very much blocked. Look, it got petitioned, and people are openly, Adam Abramowitz is openly saying that Bam and Sonny is the number 1 versus number 4. To who? Who ranks it that way? Like, what governing body, what ranking system, what possible measure of boxing could you seriously rank me number 1, Martinez number 2, Dalakayan number 3, and then Bam number 4? How, of what, let alone the Bible of boxing. Let's have some integrity here, please. Stop trying to insult my intelligence and just tell me it's because certain sides of the world, with certain fighters of the world, and relationships that the fighters have and their managers have with the whoever's voting and whoever's making decisions on rankings. Let's be right and understand for what it is. Boxing politics, not because the number 1 and number 2 are getting in the ring. It's clearly that whoever wins this fight will be considered the guaranteed number 1 in the division. No arguments, 2 belts, 2 best fighters, most likely the conclusion of that argument. And the winner's going to be the number 1. So you tell me how that fight doesn't deserve to be for the Ring magazine, because there's certain people that can say, oh no, I don't think he should be there, or just so it blocks it right now and stalls it right now. But that's fine. I've been the number 1 of the Ring for a whole year and then some. And then, the first challenger, after I've been shouting and screaming, trying to make a unification fight happen, the first other is now the hardest. Everyone else is telling me it's the hardest fight. Everywhere else, every other corner, ESPN, everywhere else is saying it's the hardest fight out there for me. 2-weight world champion, young, will fight anyone, American fighter, very high rated, except in the Ring magazine, where I could fight him for the Ring magazine title. But unfortunately, for me, it probably just cheapens the whole experience of the Ring magazine, something that I've been spending my whole career aiming towards, fighting for. Now I've kind of got here and understand the system. That is, if Adam Abramowitz, whatever his name is, and I know from his tweets previously that he's not really fond of me, who I am, what I'm about. I've seen it. I see everything people say about me. That's what they don't realise. But to find out that him, amongst probably other people that I've had, some disagreements or discussions with on Twitter, are the ones that are saying yes and no, or ranking him number 4 and forget the Ring magazine. I'll be real. Strip my number 1 ranking. It don't mean nothing to me now. You know what I mean? I'll be real. It doesn't. Once upon a time, it really did. No, it don't.
Obviously, like you said, growing up, you wanted to win this title, but it just doesn't seem to make any sense, especially when you look at, let's say, Martinez at number 2. Like you said, he's fucked about with boxing. Darkin number 3, okay, fair enough, but a 2-weight world champion, one of the biggest fighters in the States.
Yeah, but I'm getting told he's not done enough in this division to be considered 3rd or 2nd. Even though he's the only 2-weight world champion? Adam, that was a ridiculous tweet. I'm don't try and insult everyone's intelligence just because you want to say no, because it suits you to say no, or it suits whoever to say whoever, and make him number 4. Bam is definitely the 2nd best fighter in the division after me. Maybe even the best, It's between me and him, let's be real. And the fact that no of the other champions are willing to even face each other, face us, get in the conversation, they shouldn't even be considered. But instead, they're literally them two champions that won't fight no one. Both have spent longer than me on the ring rankings, far longer than me on the ring rankings. And they're number 2 and number 3. Why? Because they will not fight anybody. So, yeah, it's farcical, if nothing else. But, yeah, I won't take it too personally, even though I know it is personal. If I had an E and a Z at the end of my last name, then maybe, this fight would be. Because I could sit here and start drawing fights that the Ring Magazine was made to be for that probably wasn't as clear number 1 and number 2 in the division as this has. And bear in mind that Flyweight Ring Magazine, hasn't been fought for a decade.
I mean, when you look at this, the more you go into it, the more it just doesn't seem to make sense. Obviously, going forward in your career, you said you won't be fighting for the Ring Magazine, or would you ever consider fighting for the Ring Magazine anymore? Do you reckon, because this just doesn't seem right? It seems, like you said, it seems to be personal towards you. Would you not consider the fighting for the Ring Magazine ever again?
Of course, I'm a belt collector, and I still want that belt. What I mean is, at one point, it garnished such a high pedestal for me in my legacy, in what I want to achieve as a career, to the point of if I didn't get one at one point, I might feel like I failed my career. Now I've got to the pinnacle of boxing, got the best fight in the division in front of me, and the Ring Magazine out of, little girls club wanting to, oh no, don't let him fight for the title. Like, when it's clearly the number 1 and number 2, it has just taken, I guess, like, the shine off it. Like, I still want to win it. Like, I want to win everything else. You know what I mean? But I, for a long time, spent putting that title, like, as, there's world titles, but that...
It's the top one.
But now I see it as, if your face fits, or, they want you to, so a group of small, probably quite old men, want you to fight for it, then they will let you fight for it. It doesn't really matter who the best in the division is. It don't really matter who everyone thinks is the best in the division. It only matters what these 12 people think. So it all of a sudden, means a hell of a lot less for me. You know what I mean? But of course I still want it. Of course I do.
So what you're saying there is basically a belt that's meant... So obviously the Ring Magazine is one of those... It's not like a world title that you fight for on its own. It's one of those where you have to be a world champion to fight for it. But it just seems a bit tarnished when you actually go into it and look into it. It doesn't seem to be the best fight and the best for it anymore, especially this one. Like everyone has said it, that you versus Rodriguez is number 1 versus number 2 in the division. The Ring Magazine don't see it like that. I don't know who they see as... Well, it's clear they see the second best in the division, but it kind of just sums up boxing as a whole, how these select group of people working for these organisations, these commissions, seem to see things so differently compared to the rest of the boxing world.
Yeah, remember you're a journalist, mate. You're not meant to be taking sides. But yeah, for me right now, that's how it feels. Right now, that's how it feels. I feel like I didn't know the process. They told me, they tweeted me and tagged me in, oh, we're all sitting around having a meeting to discuss it. Then I found out today, oh, just to let you know, there was like 4 or 5 of us that said yes, and the other 7 said no. So it's not. It's like, well, that just seems a bit crazy. That's the system. It's like, we're clearly the best number 1 and the number 2. And like, if you put, I don't know, if the Ring Magazine right now put a poll out and told everyone to rank their flyweights 1 to 4 and put us, the 4 champions, I guarantee me and Bam are topping those scales. I guarantee it. I would literally bet so much on it that would be the case.
For me, obviously, you mentioned them putting the tweet out. Surely them putting tweets out to inform you of something seems a bit weird. Surely they contact you in a different way, not via a public tweet.
Yeah, they just tweeted, oh, the Ring Magazine are gonna meet and decide. But yeah, apparently they did meet and they did decide that no. So I don't know why they just keep that to themselves, to be honest. Like, you would have thought that would have started, oh yeah, now it's for it, because we've realised the error of our ways. And Martinez, who's a drug cheat anyway, won't fight no one, wants easy fights, refused to fight me in his home city, Mexico City. Like, you know what I mean? But they want to protect their fighters and they want to look after people who they want to look after. And you know, boxing politics, my face is never fit. So even when I'm fighting number one best in the world, there's still something that just doesn't, you know, seem to align with everyone else's careers. You know what I mean? Fights half as good as this has been fought for the Ring magazine. Half, a quarter as good or elite as competitive has been fought for that Ring magazine at times. But when we're talking about actual number one versus actual number two, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they'll rank who they want to rank, and you know, who am I to question the process? But now you know the process. That beautiful belt, slightly less.
Now let's turn the attention back towards more boxing than boxing politics. You also had a bit of a, not a Twitter altercation, but a little conversation on the other day with a certain man, Roman Gonzalez. Obviously, you seem to have agreed a fight with him after you beat Bam. Do you take his word for it, or do you feel like there might be other fights once you beat Bam? Obviously, you don't really want to look past Bam. Obviously, this is, like we said, number one versus number two, but your goal is to go undisputed, win every belt, probably go to another weight and do it all again, and then do it all again at another weight. But would you take a fight with Roman Gonzalez if there's no other fight to make after this one?
I mean, in my eyes, that fight's agreed next. Gonzalez said if I beat Bam, which he don't think I will, he'll come to the UK and fight me. So I don't see no other option for any other fights. I do not care about Martinez or Dalekayan or any of these trinkets or any of these titles that come with it, because I just want to fight real fighters regardless of what some governing body or magazine wants to say it's worth. Like, I'll be real, I've probably turned a corner where I've realised how immaterial and how kind of pathetic at times the belt system and the ranking system is, and the award system. Like, I ain't even been getting fucking British Boxer of the Year or even Southern Area Boxer of the Year. I'm only world champion for miles. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't matter, because all it is groups of old men having a conversation and picking who makes sense. Like, all of it, even the rankings, it's fighters and the promoters paying more to get a ranking title and then start climbing the rankings, and then when they all meet, people put their hand up a petition about who should be fighting for. Remember, we're good friends and we've paid loads of money for you with all these different fights, so can we have one of our fighters that shouldn't really be there at number 7, please? Like, that's what the process is. So I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of fed up a bit the way boxing's just set up in the moment. Give me a proper fight, a proper event. That's all I care about. I used to chase multi-weights and multi-belts and ring magazines, but the more it gets close to it, the less it means, I think. Like, because you realise just how, like, look, Dalekayan and Martinez are both world champions, but who even considers them a world champion right now at our weight, really, in the grand scheme, when there's two proper world champions going at it, you know what I mean? And it's just like that everywhere. Whilst they're fighting easy voluntaries and paying mandatory step-aside money and turning down unification fights, like, okay, you might be a champion, but of what? You can't be the world. You can't be the world. You know what I mean? Maybe you're corner of it. Maybe you're governing body of, like, who they will let you fight, and because another champion can't become your mandatory, they're never forced to fight you. So I'm getting punished for Martinez and Dalekayan not wanting to fight me, even though within the 12, 18 months last gone, both of them have been offered to fight me. Neither of them took it. But then I get punished that I can't become either of their mandatories to make them fight me for their world title that they're headlocking. And now I can't even fight for the Ring magazine that used to mean ever so much to me. But because them two won't fight me, yeah, and then the other champion that will fight me, but they consider him worse, even though he's only two-weight world champion. Even though he's the only one that's really got any proper impressive wins out of them two fighters put together. Dalekayan's best win, Brian Valoria, for a vacant world title. Martinez's best win, Christopher Rosales, that my brother beat 6 months before. Yet you want to say these fighters are stopping me from Bam and Bam fighting for it as well, bear in mind. And bear in mind, I'm the number one, so I'm not the reason why it's getting blocked. They're using him as the reason. So Bam's not good. The Ring magazine are saying that Bam's not good enough.
Would you say then, obviously it's quite evident that you are just a bit fed up, obviously, like I said, the promotion from Bam hasn't been great, obviously, and you're all this stuff going to the side. Do you feel like this is almost just something that was, you've dreamed of events like these and reaching this level of the sport, and would you feel like it feels a bit empty. It's not living up to what you expect and what everyone would expect. You know, when you, not just in boxing but in life, when you set yourself a goal, you know, you're pushing for that goal. You know, you want to headline in the States, you want to win world titles, and you've hit that stage. And obviously now you want to go undisputed, and you're being denied that for none of your own reasons. You know, at the end of the day, you're doing the best thing you can. You're fighting the best in the division. You're defending your world title actively, and you just don't almost seem to be getting rewarded for that, are you?
Yeah, and there's always a different reason as to why it's getting blocked. But like I said, maybe I just beat Bam, beat Chocolatito, and then just, you know what I mean, float off into the sunset, to be honest. Like, what am I bending over backwards, fucking risking, sacrificing, spending all year, every year dedicated to doing some one thing, and then by the time I get my head right to the top, it still don't make no difference. Like, let's just hope Bam gets in the ring with me. I don't even want to think about that. But, yeah, it's frustrating, man. Frustrating.
So would you be saying if things keep going the way it is, 2 more fights, then you might just, you know, sail off into the sunset, retire, and just not have to deal with any of this bullshit almost?
Yeah, maybe get the 2 belts and then the big fight and then disappear off like Ryan Burnett did, man. Because I always thought I would have my whole life into the boxing ring until I couldn't do it no more, and it's always what I've wanted to do, but I don't know. I just feel like it gets to the point where there isn't much point, because you don't even get treated fairly or just. You don't even get a fair shake. Nothing's fair, but you don't get the fair shake that everyone else gets. You know what I mean? Even the Ring Magazine, I know it's the same thing, but the Ring Magazine tweeted today, like, oh yeah, Sonny should have fought for the Ring Magazine way before now. He's been number 1 for ages, but there's number 2 and number 3, and it's just, I don't insult my intelligence, man. The same what it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Obviously, I know I meant to stay on the fence and not take sides. I'm not taking sides here, but I'm just going off what you're saying here, and it doesn't seem to add up. If they're saying that you should have fought for the Ring Magazine title before, why has it not happened? Obviously, we know why it's not happened, but why have they not done anything about that? They had, if the Ring Magazine is saying you should fight for it, surely they have the power to adjust the rankings and make it so you can fight for it. So if you should have fought for it, why are they not doing that?
Don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the people who own it, the people who rank, the people who sit on the panel. Maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, it gets to the point where it's like, it's annoying and frustrating, but it's not at the same time, because it's always been this way for me. Always. No matter if it was Team England, Team GB, it's always been this way. There's always someone else they're trying to edge in front of me, you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. I'll beat Bam. I'll still be number 1. Not the Ring Magazine champion. I'll be the number 1 for probably the 17th or 16th month consecutively. And then, go up weight, beat Chocolatito in the UK. Maybe headline Sheffield Arena. And, maybe just sail off. Train fighters in Cuba or something.
Let's quickly turn the attention back to the Martinez fight. Just the last couple of quick ones I just want to ask you. First of all, stablemate Junaid Boston is now on the undercard. Obviously, I know this is the event built for you, but seeing Junaid, a young prospect, up and coming, getting a chance to fight in the States, how proud are you to have a stablemate, especially an up and coming like Junaid, to be on your undercard, especially when it's a new one for you as well? You know, you've not headlined in the States before. Is this a proud moment, not just for yourself, but for the gym as a whole?
Yeah, of course, and obviously it was a conversation like, obviously Sunday's your big night, you know, do you want Junaid on the card? And I was like, yeah, like, to be able to be a small part of getting that opportunity for Junaid, not that his talent and his hard work hasn't more than deserved and earned it, but yeah, to share that night with a kid who's like my little brother, has been around the story for the whole time I've been in Sheffield. Yeah, he's a great fighter, and I hope it, you know, continues his rise of success, because he's a fantastic fighter. Jim, you know, we're in a buzzing place at the moment. We're on, you know, a consistently good run of form. We pretty much win everywhere we go, and we do it quite easy as well. So this is probably the biggest fight our gym's ever been involved in. Biggest fight I've ever been involved in. Maybe the biggest night ever, but yeah, it's not nothing that we haven't been planning, you know, for a long time, and yeah, it probably makes that a little bit easier to be able to share it with Junaid as as well as there's a few other British fighters that are going to be on the card. So, it'll be a good opportunity to really mix the two crowds and the viewership, and get some organic support. And I think people are going to be surprised at how much American support I have as well.
And finally, I just want to ask you, how are you going to beat Jesse Bam Rodriguez come December 16th? We've heard you say you're just going to 120, 108 him on the card. Now you're saying you want to knock him out. How are you going to beat Jesse Bam Rodriguez?
First round knockout.
First round knockout. Mm-hmm. Is that as simple? No explanation. First round knockout.
First round knockout. Maybe a body shot.
Simple. Sonny, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it as always, and I'm sure we'll catch up again. Most likely after the fight now, because I don't see myself making it out to Arizona, to be honest. But regardless, we'll catch up again very soon, brother.
Cheers, Josh.